What's good, y'all? It's Big Renzo, Esoteric Love. And we headed out, man. We packed. We ready to go. As you can see, those her bags. These my bags. We headed to New Orleans, y'all. It's about to be fun. I'm gonna take y'all on a journey. See how much footage I can get. I ain't really vlogged before, but we'll figure it out. We'll see what it do. What? We going? Yeah. That's my wife right there. Look at her stressing out over there. I'm good. I was able to fit in the seat, so I'm straight. She's stressing out.
Stress girl.
On our way to New Orleans, though.
Help me.
This is the real one. When we get off of this one, we definitely
We in Louisiana.
Yeah, buddy. Second plane.
No, look.
How was the first plane?
Scary.
Yeah. We'll let y'all know when we land. We'll tune back in. We on, wife. We landed.
What's up, y'all?
Esoteric. We on.
Look at this nice stuff over here.
Ooh. I wish I'd have recorded it way before. But we recording it now. And we here. So we taking y'all on the journey with us.
Definitely know we in a different place. we
Yeah, buddy.
Ooh, it look different.
Now she hit me with a suitcase. I'm about to sue her. So, man, it's gonna be an exciting time.
Exciting trip.
Can't wait to post this and show y'all some stuff. That's Drew Brees, even though I'm a Buccaneer fan, but it is what it is. All right, y'all, we're gonna check back in later. What's good, y'all? It's Big Renzo.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Melissa.
We out here in New Orleans. It's our first full day.
Yes.
And
so
we gonna get it popping. What we doing today, wife?
I think we're going on a swamp tour. I'm scared. I think we're going on a swamp tour. So
Hey, it's a little chilly out here too. It ain't what we used to in Cali, but
it's freezing.
I'm gonna show y'all what's going on. It's a lot of history out here, man. I don't know if I can change it. There's a lot of history out here, man. It's a lot of old buildings, old streets, and we just out here trying to get it.
Enjoying the history.
Exactly. So when we get to the swamp stuff, we gonna get at y'all. You ready, wife? I don't know if those is big man certified, but we'll see. We'll see. Louisiana. About to see some crocodiles, alligators, or whatever you call it. See y'all inside. What's going on? All right. Oh, God. I already know the thing is moving, wife.
Oh God, I know. So
I'm watching. So I don't know what this footage is going to look like, but I'm watching.
oh God. Okay.
Oh, I can help you, wife. I just want to show.
West they went, west we go. Now, I grew up in a little town west of here called Avondale. Avondale didn't have any schools, so I had to go to school here in West we go, and a lot has changed since then. Folks, this waterway used to go all the way back to the highway where the red light is. When they filled it in, they actually created a place for the shrimpers to sell their catch. They call it the shrimp lot now. What also has changed is, folks, see this concrete wall? This concrete wall was built after Katrina. You can actually see the stain in the wall. The water is about 1.5 feet below normal. But even right now, folks, if you look on the other side of that concrete wall in those homes, if that wall wasn't there, they'd be about 3 feet of water in those people's front yard. But folks, if that wall was built after Katrina, what stopped it from flooding before Katrina? Well, folks, they didn't have any issues with flooding, and here's why. We had a lot of levees that failed during Katrina, and they failed because of the way they were constructed. So nowadays, when they're going to build a new levee, the first thing they do is they drive sheet pile in the ground, sometimes 60 feet in the ground. But folks, when I was a little kid, you could come to these neighborhoods, go in the backyard, dig a hole in that backyard, and that hole would start filling up with water. The reason for that, folks, these old neighborhoods right here are built on old swamp ground, and the water table is really high. But when they drove this sheet pile in the ground, that cut off the water table and is no longer coming in, so the ground began to dry up. If you take a sponge and you wet that sponge, it expands, right?
Yeah.
But you dry that sponge out, it contracts and gets smaller. So folks, the ground around here is actually shrunk. It's not the seas that are rising, it's the ground is sinking right here. So it's almost sunk almost 5 feet since I was a little kid. Now most of the boats you see in here are shrimp boats. The large black one right here is called the Buccaneer. That boat is designed to go out in the Gulf of Mexico and catch shrimp in waters over 200 feet deep. And they're able to do that because see those wooden boards on the side? That's the weight that brings the net to the bottom, but also keeps the net wide open on the bottom. Those 2 white poles sticking straight up are called outriggers. They lay one on each side. They pull one big net on one side of the boat, another big net on the other side of the boat, and they cover a lot of territory. They carry enough fuel and ice to sometimes stay out for 2 weeks at a time, so they can actually fill that the hole up before they come in. Now the smaller boats in here, folks, are shrimp boats too. They're designed to catch shrimp in shallow water. They learned a long time ago, especially on a full moon like we got going on right now, that light of that moon will bring the shrimp off the bottom, feeding near the surface. If you're dragging your net on the bottom like most shrimpers do, you're totally missing those shrimp. So these frames are designed to fold out like a butterfly, and then they lower them into the water. So those metal pads you see at the top right now, they're actually rubbing or skimming along the bottom while they're shrimping. So as the water depth changes, those frames can go up and down depending on the water depth. The net goes around the triangle part of the frame, and that frame fishes from the surface all the way down to the bottom. So no matter what depth those shrimp are traveling at, you're gonna have a chance to catch them. And they mainly do that at night when it's much cooler. Now folks, the waterway that we're on today is called Bayou Signet. The word bayou comes from the Choctaw word bayak, which means slow moving water. This waterway was created because years ago, before they had a levee system protecting New Orleans, when all that snow would melt up north and come down the river, it used to just overflow its bank and create its own passageway to the Gulf of Mexico. So this waterway is still connected to the Gulf. It's about 75 miles away, but it's no longer connected to the river. But it's because it's connected to the Gulf, and it's still considered a bayou because every time that high tide comes in, it brings water in and brings it slowly back out, which is a good thing. Because as long as that water's moving, the water won't become stagnant, and also mosquitoes do not like to lay their eggs in water that's moving. So it's a good thing. Now you know what the most lonesome bayou in Louisiana is? Bayou Self. This big building in front of us is part of the new levee they built after Katrina. So folks, you're starting to see those eggs I was telling you about, those pink eggs all on the trees everywhere, like this one, some right over there. And the brighter the pink that you see, the newer the eggs. If they're a light color, they've been out there, which eventually can turn, when they turn a whitish brown, then they fall into the water and they start growing to that snail. So folks, once we get a couple hard freezes, all the ground vegetation is going to die. And what's so great about it in the wintertime is that when we do get those freezes, you're able to see more birds and animal life feeding up in those swamps. Because during wintertime, all this is going to be flooded, okay? And that's where the crawfish, most of the crawfish are going to be out here in the swamp. And you know when there's a lot of crawfish? When you see a bunch of birds feeding on them crawfish. You'll see egrets, you'll see herons, you'll see ibis, you'll see rosebud spoonbills. Folks, there's owls sitting in the trees right now, but you can't see them because of all the leaves in the tree. And a large egret. Now, folks, I've been sitting here one time and watched one of these birds catch a water moccasin right in front of us and then fly right over the boat with that snake in their mouth. So, folks, that's why we have these tops on the boat.
See Rocky.
You Ray?
Oh, he leaving.
Oh, Rocky! Come on.
There go Rocky. You still haven't seen him yet? There's Rocky.
Wait, we're gonna hit him.
Jump on the boat.
Where did he go? What's up, Rocky?
Let him get through. Wait, let him through.
What? Let him get through to see Rocky.
Yeah, he know him. He hears his mouth.
Wait, did I get to see?
Record him on
Oh, you're so cute. Really? You gonna scare him now?
Oh, what up, Rocky? That's dope.
That's so cute.
Where'd he go?
He's on the floor.
You know that man, so Diane, name yours, Rocky.
We smashing now, boy. He's rolling. Excuse the wind, but we gone. Opening this thing up. Cold.
I'm freezing.
Freezing now. We still smashing, but she freezing.
Oh my God.
That's funny.
He can actually fit himself with that beat.
Get him on.
They said they can
He's
smash an alligator.
on land, huh? Because it's not in the water, but on land, right?
Well, he's standing in water, but his
can
legs
float
are
like
his legs
that?
are this long. His legs are this long.
Wow. Yeah.
They'll sit real still, waiting for a fish or a snake to come by, and boom, grab them.
Mine are showing too. That is funny. On too, don't worry.
Just waiting to go get some food. We waiting. We'll be in there shortly. These guys out here are hilarious.
They're drunk. Yes.
They're drunk.
It's too early too. They got a long day.
Hey, what?
There's a picture of
Oh, this is recording.
Oh, hey, y'all. Okay, wait. I need to try this.
That's what we got a po' boy, some jambalaya.
Well, yes, okay. This is the first
We
time.
grubbing in New Orleans.
There you go. This is the first time I'm
That's
trying.
What's that? Again, oysters. There it is. Shrimp. Jambalaya. My wife gonna try some.
This is the first time we tried. Okay, wait. Is this
There we go. To the mouth.
Oh, that's actually good.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
That's actually good.
It's about to go down. I'm gonna check back in when she try these oysters. I'm gonna check back in. She about to try some fried oysters. She about to put it to her mouth right now.
Honey, I'm really not.
Esoteric love up in this piece.
You don't need what?
That is a piece of chicken. That's a piece of chicken.
Let's try it.
Honey, the whole thing?
No, you gotta have the whole thing.
Okay.
There's some of it.
Oh my goodness. Honey. Okay. Well, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. Esoteric Love, we out. Esoteric Love back. My wife, Nim, want to come do some laser tag at a mortuary.
With tombstones.
Real grave.
I know.
Well, I guess we're in New Orleans, so I guess we got to do it.
Yeah,
So,
try new things.
hey, hopefully we can walk up out of here like nothing happened. We out of here, man. She red. Mark. So we here, got our hot chocolate. And what is these things? Baguettes. What is it? Yeah, we got that. I don't know. Whatever it is, we got it. It's good though. I burnt my tongue though. So we'll figure it out. It's brown though, ain't it?
Yes, it's beautiful.
Esoteric Love. Esoteric Love. Hey.
What's this called? Riverwalk.
Riverwalk. Oh, that's some jets up there. Fighter jets? I don't know.
Look at the bridge. No, that bridge is the bridge.
Yeah, I was zoomed in a little too far on that. Cause I was looking at other stuff. But yeah, pretty dope. I like it.
Well, you can walk
Riverwalk. That's where we at.
Let's do a boomerang.
Our first cemetery in the city of New Orleans was actually the Mississippi River. We just throw the dead in the river. Well, then we started building levees on those rivers, and we used those as cemeteries, and they worked great until the river flooded. Then those dead bodies come shooting back out at you. Ping, 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 ping. It's not much fun when that happens, right? Then we started St. Peter Street Cemetery, which is on the backside of the French Quarter on St. Peter and Burgundy. That cemetery taught us about what not to do when we bury dead folks down here. It taught us that if we dig a 6-foot hole, we go get the casket, we come back, there is going to be 5 feet, 11 inches of water in the hole. You got to remember that we are a city below sea level, so if we dig in the ground here, the first thing we're going to hit real fast is water. So what they would do is they would drill holes in the side of the box. They would then set the box on top of the water would fill in the casket, sink it down to the bottom. Now they would stay down there until we had a good rainstorm, then they come bobbing back up to see us. I am a firm believer that we should not have to bury grandma 3 times.
Yeah, oh no.
One and done should be the rule, right? So we started our above ground cemeteries in 1789. Y'all, we are still buried to this very night the way we would have been buried in 1789. You guys can see by the opening of our tombs that we are not buried with satin pillows. Those big old caskets will not fit. It's a very thin, plain wood box or just a burlap bag. We typically do not embalm the dead in this city. If you embalm a body, what happens?
Stink.
It preserves it. It makes those bodies hang out for a while. That is the last thing we need to happen. There is a rule still into effect to today that's called the 1 year, 1 day law, which states once you put somebody in this tomb, you cannot reopen it for 1 year and 1 day. They felt like it would give the body time to break down and get rid of any disease it was carrying, the perfect mourning time, the proper time to settle your estate. And we in the South down here, we're pretty polite. It would be rude to disturb you on the day of your death, so we waited an extra day because our mama told us to, you heard? Now listen, once you put somebody in here, these things are designed to hold heat. So typically it gets between 375 and 450 for about 10 months out of the year. So with the gases the body lets off during decomposition, the heat and humidity, it speeds up that whole decomposition process for us. We don't just reopen after a year and a day, but we have to wait that time period. So let's just say 3 years later, somebody else passes away. We need to open this tomb up, make room for the next family member. The only thing that's really going to be left inside is going to be bone, teeth, hair, ash, things like that. We will then push the remains to the back of the tomb where you fall into the bottom into what is called a caveau, which is like a bowl, making room for the next family member. And this is how we can put so many people in one tomb. This is the most expensive part of the burial is right here.
It's crazy.
Our tombs range from 25,000 to he was that guy. But look, his tomb has some really cool stuff. You see that? I bet every one of you have it on you right now.
Pyramid?
It's on a dollar bill, that's it. And then they have the eternal flame. So the Masons had their fingers in everything, y'all.
Oh yeah.
You okay?
You almost fell, bro? Dang. Yeah, I laughed at you.
Listen for the international call to come back to me, what
This nigga knows all about that stuff.
This is crazy. Esoteric love up in the building. We at one of the New Orleans famous cemeteries.
First time at a cemetery like this, for
Man,
sure.
these tombstones are huge. And there's multiple people.
And they're family
Yeah,
family
families
ones.
with multiple people inside of them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a trip.
Look, child, over there.
Look
at that big one.
That's large right there. This is us right here. We're right here.
You can't see me.
Yeah, that's us right there. But it's
Huge.
This is cool up in here though. They take care of their dead up in here, man. Like for sure.
Yeah.
Try to zoom in back there, see what I can get. Yeah, it goes back. The lady said how many people is in here, but I forgot. But it's a lot.
This is scary.
Man.
It's creepy.
Yeah, for sure. Have to look this cat up. They said he was an important person.
Oh man, did somebody break your bone?
Oh Lord, I hope not.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, that's real scary.
That's kind of creepy
Man,
for me.
yeah.
I've been alright.
See, this camera don't do y'all justice. Esoteric love back in here. It's what's it called, eerie, like an eerie thing.
Yeah, this is creeping me out.
Yeah, man, it's generations of family members in one tomb. Like it's a trip.
Did you see the little grass patties? This is scaring me because it's more like a
Yeah, she's
a,
thinking
like
about
a cemetery. Like
She thinks this is Thriller or
yeah,
whatever.
like what is it called? Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, that too. Oh yeah, that movie for sure. For sure. Like
I
it's
think
a trip. We going back the other way? Alright.
Yep. See.
This is crazy, y'all. Like you would have to be here to see how crazy this looks. It's a trip.
Tell them niggas, man. We socking any ghost that
Man, I'm gonna suck a ghost quicker than he came.
any ghost will get knocked out, nigga.
You gonna be like, oh, you wanna start shit?
Oh, they not from here.
Go. Come on, I don't want to miss nothing that she says. Is my wife close? Oh, she's talking already.
It wasn't until after, and that's how I got trapped out here. Because I came back to see what was left of my house like most people would, right? That's when the levees broke. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, that the waters of Katrina had started to recede, but Mother Nature was not done with us. 10 days later, bam, we were hit with Hurricane Rita. When Rita hit, that was it. It was over, baby. There was nowhere for the water to go. 80% of the city of New Orleans was underwater. 80%. The only thing you could see at my house was the peak of the roof. That was all that you could see. So it was devastating to most of the city. We lost 1,436 souls in the parish of Orleans alone. Most of those people were, collected by family. They were buried in private, ceremonies, services, things like that. But you guys, out here, these tombs like this are set up in a very specific manner, and they're set up to look like a hurricane. And here's the eye of our storm. But I want you to look at the tombs. These are the unknown, unclaimed dead from Hurricane Katrina.
No names.
But listen, I don't care who you are, what your situation is. This is somebody's loved one. This was somebody's son or daughter. And I don't want these folks to think that we've completely forgotten about them, because we have not. They teach us, they keep us to, make us realize that no matter how small we think a storm is, we need to be prepared, because it can happen that fast. New Orleans is a city below sea level. We're in a bowl-like structure. So not only does a hurricane blow over us, it fills up. That's why we have our pumping stations are so, fundamental here in New Orleans. We have 27 of them. 9 work. Now I'm just a tour guide. What do I know? But I think that's something the city should really invest in. You know what I mean? But you guys, that's what these are. And it's kind of fitting that they're out here, because most of these people out here in this mass grave are unknown as well. So it's just kind of fitting, right? Does anybody have HBO Max on your phone? Yeah. All right. So there is a documentary out, and it's the truest one to form that I've seen, and it was done by a man named Spike Lee. He does not hold anything back. You hear me? So if you watch it, you're going to see what we saw and you're going to hear what we heard, and not all of it was nice. Like, there's things here that will never go away, ever. Like, I'll never forget having to go to get some water and have to walk over the dead to get it.
Oh my
There's things that will never go away. Hopefully next time it happens, and it will, just because of where New Orleans is located. The people of New Orleans, the state, local, federal government, everybody will be more on point about what can happen to a city like New Orleans when you're hit with a major hurricane. I want to say we're not hit every year, but this year, good Lord, we were in this cone of uncertainty. How many times? I don't even know anymore. It's like 10 times. So we really dodged some bullets down here. Hurricane Zeta came through, but it was only category 2. Kind of disappointing, right? You build it up to be something big and then it's not. But no matter where you live, you guys, you got to face something. California. The earth moved onto your feet. I went through an earthquake, and listen, I didn't dig it. I know.
Oh my God.
See?
Wait.
You're almost there. I'm not a Kansas City fan.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Shit. Oh shit, that's scary.
Come on, you can do it.
It's in the general area.
Exactly. It's too close for comfort.
Close enough. There we go. So you can definitely feel when something gets a hold of it. Now, like I said, we could all have ancestors buried here and not know it, because, we don't know where every one of our ancestors came from.
I'll do it.
So some people get a lot more activity, like I said. Now, I personally have good experience with this, but I do have guests that work really well with these. So I think it depends on the person. These are EMF readers. You guys ever seen one of these?
Yeah.
So what it does is it measures the electromagnetic field. And in theory, if there's something messing with that, it'll turn orange, red, things like that. But if somebody's holding this and it starts going off, people need to start taking pictures. This is the cemetery where I want you to take a lot of pictures, okay? And I want you to take 2 or 3 pictures of the same spot. That way we have a reference point. Does that make sense? I feel like you.
All right, we about to do this thing. About to do some contact with some ghosts.
I don't even know what this is.
It's gonna occur. Yeah, see, it's already yellow. Somebody's about
No, I just pushed
Oh,
it.
is yours even?
Yours not working? You would have the one that ain't working.
Mine too.
Open for no, cross for yes. However you want to do it. Give them a baseline to talk to you. Okay?
Yeah, this is about to be crazy.
Able to spin? There you go.
Yeah, yours ain't working.
Is it not working?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Her shit keep turning orange.
Dang it. Okay, that one was not working either.
Yeah, mine's
Oh, there
not
you go.
working either.
But this is what she put back because somebody gave it to her because it wasn't working. But
Yours ain't working either?
Well, then you got to get the little metal rods.
no, see, it's not. It's gonna come.
Now when this on, but it's not just not going off yet.
There's a kid next to me. X for yes. Oh. Ain't no kid by me.
Cross for yes.
Cross for yes if it's an adult next to me.
Oh God. Honey, okay, so that's no.
Oh, snaps. Oh, oh.
Okay, no, I'm going. I'm leaving. Bye. Keyboard, let's go.
That is dope.
I mean, sorry.
Keyboard, I'm leaving.
Oh my gosh.
Another place. Putting mask on. You ain't gonna have it on just yet. For real.
Put it on.
About to have some breakfast. And they not open. They not open. The spot right there is not open. Dang! So we end up going to Gus, world famous hot and spicy. The other place is closed. So this is where we at now. I don't know. We're gonna see. Figure it out. Cross that road when we get there. So that's what we end up getting. And the result, that's honey in the middle right there. This is like spicy chicken or something. Greens. Everything fire. Got those kind of cups. It's about to go down.